Welcome to part one of ripping out this entire plant bed in front of our house and creating a red paver patio. We moved into our first house a few months ago and have been doing renovations ever since. With the weather being nice, I finally had time to pull all these weeds, and midway through, I started to get a crazy thought, like maybe we could build an entire patio here. We had talked about having a patio in the front yard since we'd first toured this place because we do have a little view of the lake, and it would just be so nice to sit out there and have a drink and look out at the water. Once I put my mind to something, I honestly can't really stop. Tim totally supported the idea, and we just started going at it and digging out a bunch of dirt from this plant bed for a paver patio. And my vision for this patio is to have it be red brick because I've just always been obsessed with red brick walkways and red brick in cities, and I just think it brings so much charm and character. We wanted to make it a good size and then eventually put a walkway right in front of it. I've also always had a little dream of having rocking chairs in front of my house one day, so I knew I wanted to get those and a bunch of plants. Now, I was doing a lot of research on how to actually make a proper patio yourself every day. The first thing we need to do is dig out all of the dirt and get all the old plant roots out. Honestly, this was super labor intensive. If you can get any extra hands or any additional equipment, definitely do it to make this easier on you because it was such a workout. And yes, there were multiple tools damaged throughout this entire project. And at one point, we definitely had to call back up with a tiller that we rented from Home Depot to help mix some of this dirt up so it was easier for us to shovel. Also, huge shout out to our neighbor who is just the sweetest. He made sure we had a drink throughout this whole process and that we were well fed throughout too, since this took days on end. I also made sure to save any good shrubs so we could reuse them. So I would have a few plants for the plant bed. So main thing was just digging and digging and digging until we got to about 7 inches in depth in this area. So for the depth, you want about 3 inches of gravel and then an inch of sand on top of that, and then room for the thickness of your paver on top of that. So that's kind of the rough measurements you're going for. Also, I'm just gonna say it now, we are in no way professionals. I probably watched like 300 videos on how to do this, but we are not professionals, and this is a total DIY with mistakes and imperfections along the way, so just keep that in mind. Once we finally got it down to the right depth, the next step is getting rid of this ugly damaged walkway, so keep an eye out for that in part 2.